Now I have a question, selling point, para los dos, for the both of you.
Yeah.
When, this is the time to say, this is your segment to say why Miami Prep over others, especially in this region, right? And for you, the question goes as why Miami Prep as the person that organizes, that runs it, that is the network to get these kids signed, and why for you as the coach, how do I go there and maximize myself como un jugador there? When I go there, ¿qué estoy cogiendo de ti como un jugador?
Well, from my standpoint, in which, by the way, this is Macho Torres. Macho has been with the program for now a couple of years. He actually came in as an assistant for Juan last year, where he coached our goal team and had a fantastic record, won over 40 games. A guy that's very well known in Puerto Rico, especially in Ponce, Puerto Rico. He's somebody that's people love, respect. He's been doing it for a long time as coach, also professionally, also coach at all levels.
Another high energy guy.
Another high energy guy. I only deal with high energy guys, right? So
it's in our blood.
It's in our blood.
Yeah.
It's in our blood. 100%. So actually, we brought him to Miami Prep, and he's done great. He's done great. He's a great coach in his own right. He's very good. He wins a lot of games. He's a gym rat. He's in the gym for a long time. He actually has a son that's one of the top prospects in the 7th grade right now. His name is Abdiel. So he's doing really good there too. But for our sake, think about it for a second, Danny. Let's say you were a parent, and let's say you had a kid, okay, and you had to make a decision among, 10 prep schools. The first thing you're going to do, and I know that you would do it because you really do your homework, and say, okay, who's the guy in any of these prep schools that have the contacts,
right,
and have a way of putting my son into college?
Exactly.
Because if I'm going to spend any amount of money, I want to make sure that I get a return.
Exactly.
Most of these parents, you know what the return is? Get my kid in college. So if I'm paying you whatever money I'm paying you, you get my kid in college, and it's, college scholarship is worth what, $250,000? As long as I get that in return, I'm okay. My investment is valid.
Right.
So, but we need you to give us the opportunity to get our kids in college. Well, guess what? That's what we do best. And the proof is in the pudding by the number of kids that we've put in college over 2 decades. Or if you get the Miami Prep, you could see how many ones we put in 3 years. So you could go and spend a little bit less, or you could go and spend a little bit more in these schools. But at the end of the day, you're going back, or at the end of the day, it was money not well spent because your kid is not in college.
Right.
What we tell parents is, look, we provide you a platform. We provide you a number of games in the totals of 50, 55 games. We provide you, practice. We go from 11 to 2, and then we go from 6 to 10 a night. So, you're in the gym. We're getting you stronger.
It's kind of weight room.
Absolutely. If we need to get you where you need to speak better English, we got tutors. And we got tutors that also prepare you to take the SAT. Not that the SAT is needed anymore, but we want you to take the SAT because there might be a Division II school like Barry that needs a minimum of 1,000 points to get into Barry.
Yeah. Every school has their requirements.
Absolutely. So, from that part of it, what we do best, getting kids in college. And that's what we sell.
And that's what matters, really.
And that's what matters because, we got a beautiful facility now. We just moved to Divine Savior that has a gorgeous facility there, has 2 gyms, and has a weight room, the whole thing. But that's what parents want to hear. Parents want to say, and we don't, by the way, we can't guarantee kids we're going to get them in college. So we don't guarantee any kids we're going to get them in college. What we do guarantee is we're going to provide you a platform, and what we do guarantee you is you're going to get great exposure. And then if you do what you're supposed to do on the court, then I'm going to do my job is to get you in college.
Right.
So I think when it comes to something like that, and like you said now, it's really what parents want. I think that's what puts us above and beyond the competition.
And I want to emphasize this. Guys, they can go 50-2.
Right.
That's irrelevant to me.
Right.
And it should be irrelevant to you. What matters is who's signing on the dotted line. Right. Now, the 50-2 is a bonus because what you're saying is we got good product.
Right.
Right. When you're winning, you're saying they got quality caliber of players.
Right.
So that's why that's important, especially when you're playing the caliber of schools and teams and prep schools that you're playing. So that's important too. But what's important is at the end of the day is they could also, based on the network, and that's the most important thing, based on the network that you have provided, you have gained over the years. What's important is you could also go 20 and 19. Can you still get the guys to sign on the dotted line, right? That's important too, 100%. And I think you can.
100%. And there's a lot of smaller schools that we could play. We're allowed to play junior colleges, Danny, as well. We're allowed to play in AA schools. So, when we pick our schedule, we don't want to play. I mean, we'll play local games just to get them to play, but we go to pretty much every major tournament in the country.
Right.
We play for a national championship. So, you're
in a good conference too.
Yeah, we were in a good conference as well. We're not in that conference this year. We've been in the last 2 years because we want to really go independent. So we would play
I didn't know that.
better games outside the conference.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to play the very best, and when you play the very best, there's college coaches there, and they recruit you. So, yeah, the record is fine. We all like to win, but if you were to tell me, listen, if you went 10-19 and you put 50 kids in college, we have 52 kids in our school right now. We got 3 teams. We have an elite team, we have a white team, and we have a black team. Now we have a high school, which we'll talk about that later.
Correct.
But if you were to tell me if you didn't have a winning record and you put kids in college, I said, yeah, I'll take that, because that's what we do. That's what we're all about. That's our history. That's what we do. That's what and we don't need to sell it to people, because when somebody comes to me and asks me that question, Danny, it's a very good question. I said, look, why don't you do your homework first?
Exactly.
That's
the key.
Yeah, do your homework, get on the internet, look at this. Look, this is a list of all the kids we got into college. Call their parents.
Yeah.
Call the kids. They'll tell you. I'm not going to talk about myself, but these guys will. And again, as soon as parents see that, I didn't know that. Oh, God, that's good. All right, we're going to Miami Prep. So
I think that's important, because in the short amount of time that you guys have turned around and gotten so many players signed and at different levels, high level, low level, mid level, D2, that's important, right? And that's the only factor that I really care about when I look into these things. I remember one of former players, Mick Lanat, went to St. Thomas and More, and they gave him like a scholarship, but St. Thomas and More is like $60,000, right? Yeah. So I think he had to pay like $20,000.
Right.
And Coach Moore looked at him and said, told Mick's dad, he goes, "This is the last $20,000 you'll ever have to pay. He's never going to pay scholarship again, right? He's going to get it. He's going to come out of here with a scholarship." Sure enough, went D1, and it's one of those things where you say that's what matters.
100%.
That is what matters. Can you deliver that, right? Can you deliver that? Because that's the reason why parents are sending them there, and I think that's the thing that overall has to be looked at. Like, I think we worry too much about, how many games we play. How, parents. I've heard so many parents say, but they're playing here, they're playing there, they're playing there. Listen, I don't care where they're playing. The results of who signs on the dotted line is what matters, and what they've done in a short amount of time, it's incredible, right?
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate that. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I mean, if I was a parent, that's the way that I would look at it. You would look at it the same way. Look, if my kid could go to college and he could get the proper exposure, and the guy who's running the program has all the context, hey, some of these kids, we got guys coming in. Rick Pitino flies into Miami. We know he lives in Miami now, and Bob Huggins, and
he still lives in Miami. Well, I know he's always at a house here.
Yeah, he still has a house in Miami.
Shout out to Iona.
Yeah. So and Rick's a dear friend. So they come. I call them and say, listen, I got a great player for you. They trust me enough. They'll get in a plane. They'll come down here and see him. And again, I want to steer them right. I don't want to put a player that's not good enough, that I feel is not good enough to play there. And if they're not good enough to play Division I, hey, guess what? We're going to look for a Division II school.
Yeah.
And if it's not a Division II school, guess what? We'll look into an NAIA school.
You're putting your best foot forward.
Yeah, let's get you into college. Get a free education, for crying out loud.
And at the end of the day,
you love,
the way that this is all set up now are two things. If you go to the level that at that point where you were able to go to, because that's what that exposure brought you, if you play well, it's very easy to leave now and continue to move up, right? It's very easy. It's very easy. So what matters, again, is just signing on the dotted line and then making a name for it. Like you said, J.J. Barrera went undrafted. And that's it's just the history that you make.
It's what counts.
Yeah, is what counts.
I really do.
Now, ahora, to play for you, ¿qué significa eso?
No, para mí es una gran oportunidad. It's a great opportunity. It's my first year in Miami Prep. The coach. I job in Puerto Rico. He trabajado en Puerto Rico for 16 years. The coach, but it's different. So the level is different in the United States. The league, the talent, the competition. So estoy adaptándome.
Ajá.
Pero mi energía está. Mi
Sí,
pasión.
sí, sí.
O sea, la sangre de Juan Cardona y de mía.
La sangre, ¿eh?
Puertorriqueño que venimos a trabajar con energy in the line. So, pero my job con los jugadores es tratar de ponerlo en the best position para que puedan buscar un scholarship and win the game.
Claro.
So, son dos situaciones que tengo que trabajar como coach en la línea. It's only 1 year. Solamente es un año.
Exacto.
So, que esa es la parte.
Y hay que maximizar. You have to maximize los dos.
Yeah. So, que tengo que practicar cuando my job in my plan practice, tengo que hacer las dos, o sea, dos cosas. The level in the players, we up the level in the player and up the level in the program for win games. So.
Claro.
You know, that's an excellent point. And what Macho is alluding to, it's hard for him because think about it. His responsibility is to put these guys in the best possible position to play minutes, which is all it's about, and then also an opportunity where you want to win. So he needs to say, okay, well, I want to win, but, this guy's sitting at the end of the bench. He hasn't really played much. I need to put him in the game because we need film on him, right?
Of course.
And there's college coaches there, and they're watching him play. So it's kind of like, damn if I do, damn if I don't. Let's do it. So he does a really good job at making sure that all the players play at Miami Prep. But it's all about minutes. And if it's about minutes, and sometimes you sacrifice wins and losses.
Yeah.
Because maybe you might not have your best 5 players there. And then maybe you say, well, we got to play our second-tier kids because they also need the opportunity, and they need to be seen by coaches. He does an excellent job and kind of gauging that and making sure that we're winning, and then also kids are playing. And that's parents also want to see their kids play. So he does an excellent job in doing that. And then the other thing I wanted to say, Macho said, and I did forget to say this, is that, remember, guys, prep school, it's a 1 year and done. The turnover is you go to prep school and then you go. You don't stay in prep school, not unless you're a senior, which we've had in the past, and you're playing up, and then they get to play their senior year prep, and then they got their actual true prep year. So there's, you only got 1 year to get it done. If you don't get it done in 1 year, then your career is pretty much over.
Algo que le quiere decir a los jugadores que están allá afuera, que van a ver esto, que sabe que dice cuando tú vengas a jugar aquí en Miami Prep, y para mí, qué es lo que quiere ver de ellos, ¿sabes? Para ayudarte a ti, porque ellos haciendo lo máximo que ellos pueden hacer es la misma cosa ayudándote a ti, porque los dos están trabajando para coger un scholarship a la misma vez, ganar juegos y coger un scholarship. ¿Qué es lo que tú quieres ver de los jugadores cuando vengan?
Discipline, the best effort every day in the practice, in the game. So simplemente es trabajar, work hard. Work hard. So, porque no están acostumbrados cuando viene to practice every day. 11 to 2, 6 to 10, weight room, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
It's a college schedule, basically.
So, 8 months. So, que tiene que venir mentally, change the mentally. It's only 1 year. It's a great opportunity for you. So, go hard.
And what I'm learning from this is, I say, the 8 months that you spend in Miami Prep, you're going to learn whether you want to really go to the next level as well. Because a lot of these kids, they want to get there, right? But they don't understand the work.
It's a great point. Think about it. We started in August, Danny. So we got August, September, October, December, January, February, March. That's 7. And then April puts you at 8, which April is a late signing period.
Yeah, exactly.
So, a lot of these kids come in February, they're just beat. We play more games than any high school in any collegiate program in the country. And pretty much close to an NBA schedule that plays 82 games. So let's say we play 55. That's a lot of games. Now, some prep schools would only play 25 or 30. We choose to play that many because every time there's a game, we're getting film on you where we can show college coaches, and there's people that are watching you play. So we choose to spend more money and give these guys a enough exposure where they could be recruited.
And if guys are coming from out of state, out of country, you guys provide housing. There's options for that.
Yes. So our program, another good question, Danny. So our program, what we do is not only do we provide housing, we provide transportation. And what I mean by transportation, it's not only local transportation, but when we go to these trips to New York and South Carolina and Rhode Island and all these places we go to, within that price that we charge you, it's that, that traveling is also provided. We're not going to call them parents and say, hey, listen, could you buy me a ticket for your son to go here? And that's when we lose money when we have kids on scholarship. That's money coming out of our own pockets. Because to us, it's really not about the money. It's about what we do best. And we
just provide opportunity.
So we're providing housing. We're providing all their foods. We're providing transportation. We're providing their gear. We're providing their training. Listen, it's very hard. Not unless you're IMG and Montverde, where they charge $80,000, $85,000, you're making money. We're not even half of that. We're not even a third of that. So, it's hard to make money because those things are very, very expensive.
Yeah.